Hello and welcome to the Bald Man Cave. If you've stumbled across this channel, it's probably because you started losing your hair and maybe started panicking and you got online to start doing research about what to do next. And that's exactly why I created this channel. I wanted to create videos and content that I wish I had had when I first started losing my hair. And today I want to talk about three of the major concerns that I hear from guys who are losing their hair about what they're concerned about because of the fact that they're losing their hair. And the number one thing that I hear the most is that guys think that losing their hair is going to hurt their dating prospects. They think it's going to make them less attractive, less desirable, and women just aren't going to want them. So I talked about this a little bit in my previous video, but this idea should be completely debunked at this point. If you just think about it logically and take a look around you, take a look at, I'm sure you have a dad, an uncle, cousin, friend, somebody you know who is completely bald like me and is in a happy, fulfilling relationship and is living a happy life. I've provided a lot of evidence in other videos from comments from women who say that they are really into the bald look. So while this isn't going to be everybody's preference, not everybody likes a bald head, that's completely fine. The goal is not to be attractive to everybody. That's impossible anyway. The goal is to be focused on what you can control, and your hair just isn't going to matter that much. So if you're worried about your dating prospects or finding a partner just because you're losing your hair, just know that this really shouldn't be a concern at all. And a lot of the fear that comes from this only comes from other guys. And so what I found is that it's a lot of projection because other guys are afraid of losing their hair. They're afraid for themselves that they're going to be less attractive. So they continue to push that fear on others. So if you're feeling this fear, I understand it. I felt it myself in my early 20s when I first started losing my hair. But just know this theory should be completely debunked at this point. The next fear I hear a lot is that people think that losing their hair means that it's going to hurt their career aspirations. Either they won't be able to get the job they want, or they won't be able to progress in the career that they've chosen. And again, this is another idea, another fear that is completely unfounded. If you just logically think about it and you just look around at people you may know, or even, business owners who are kind of at celebrity status. Obviously, somebody like Jeff Bezos comes to mind, completely bald, and he is one of, if not the richest people on earth and has obviously grown a very successful business. You can just research CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and you will find a wide variety of bald men who are sitting at the top of these big, powerful companies. So having no hair should have absolutely zero impact on your career aspirations. It should have zero impact on you getting a job, even if you don't have one right now. So the fear that having no hair or if you're losing your hair, that's going to impact your career. Again, this is should be completely unfounded at this point. You should not buy into this fear because there is tons and tons of evidence of bald guys who have had very successful careers and have very successful jobs. And the third and final fear I want to talk about, at least in this video, is I hear a lot from guys that they're afraid that when they lose their hair or they shave their head, they're gonna look old. They're gonna look a lot older than they actually are. Now, this varies from person to person. Again, I understand the fear. It was a fear I had as well. I was afraid that I was going to look like I was in my 40s when I was still in my 20s. Again, it varies person by person. For some people, shaving their head, that might make them look a little bit older. But I've seen many cases where guys have shaved their head and they've actually looked a lot younger. So it really varies person by person. The good news is, regardless of what your situation is, maybe you shave your head, you do look a little bit older, maybe you look a little bit younger. Either way, once you take that leap and shave your head, your look really isn't going to change for the rest of your life if you think about it. Because for guys who lose their hair later in life, which impacts just about every guy just at some point in their life, if they lose their hair later in life, then they're going to start feeling those physical changes more so later on. You, by getting ahead of it and shaving your head now, you're going to embrace that change. Might feel like a big change initially. People will get used to it within a couple of weeks. You'll get used to it within a month or two. And after that, your look really won't change from then on out. I shaved my head about 5 years ago, and I feel like I look exactly the same as I did then. So, just to summarize, I know losing your hair can be scary. These three fears that I just talked about, I had them as well. But now that I've gone through them and I've come out on the other side, I can tell you that all of those fears are completely unfounded. They really aren't anything that you need to be worried about. Make sure you're focusing on the things that you can control. Make sure you're focusing on your health, your career, your family, your friends, other things that are important to you, and you will be just fine. I promise you. But I appreciate you for joining me for this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.